Hope you are doing well. It's part 3 of Truck Horror Story. Evening everyone, I'm back again with another story from my trucking adventures. I'll try to share as much information as I can about the places I go, but I really don't want anyone to cross paths with the things I've seen, so I'm also trying to keep it vague. For anyone who is out of the loop, I suggest listening to my first 2 stories, otherwise this may not make much sense. I really don't experience these things that often, but when I do it can get pretty weird. Why does everything insist on coming out at night, anyways? Whatever happened to daytime monsters? Is everything paranormal nocturnal? Doesn't make a lot of sense if you ask me. I never thought I would have developed an aversion to beef, but my experience at this warehouse in Omaha has unfortunately left me with a rather bad experience with fresh meat. I'm not a vegetarian by any means, but after this, I need to have my steak a little more well done than I liked before. Let me back up. This was a few weeks after my terrifying experience in the Rocky Mountains of Montana. Life was going as normally as it can as a trucker, and I just got a new load delivering from a beef distribution warehouse in Omaha going to eastern Tennessee. I normally don't deliver a lot of fresh foods, but it's not really that unusual. They usually save trips like that for TCU drivers, temperature-controlled units, and I just haul dry van, which means the normal 53-feet trailers you probably always see. TCUs are normally responsible for hauling things like milk and other foods that need to be kept cold. Anyway, I'm on my way to this warehouse for a live load, to be loaded on site instead of picking up an already loaded trailer, which is normal for fresh foods. It's a routine pickup. I get there, sign in, back into the dock, and wait to be loaded. Once they're finished, which takes about an hour, they knock on my door and hand me my paperwork. I should mention it's also pretty late at this point, maybe 7 p.m. Not quite dark, but the sun is setting. I pull out from the dock and hop out to close my trailer doors and place the seal on it. As I walk to the back, I give the cargo a quick once-over to make sure it's loaded properly and isn't going to come crashing down when I take off. It seems to be in order. There's several pallets stacked high with plain white boxes labeled with whatever is inside them, which I assume is beef or steaks. As I go to shut the doors, a box I must have not noticed before slips and tumbles to the trailer floor. Obviously it was crooked and came loose. It's not my job to stack the cargo properly, but this is far too simple to trouble the employees, so I climb into the trailer to see if I can put it in a more secure spot. I pick up the box and look at it, and I freeze. One end of the box came partially open when it fell, and I saw the contents of the box. It wasn't beef. Inside the box, frozen, vacuum sealed, and neatly severed, was a human hand. Several human hands, all stuffed into the box and clearly packaged for sale. I had no idea what to think. This couldn't possibly be an accident, it's obviously packaged up. I looked at the label on the box and it read left extremities, Caucasian, and the date it was packaged, which was today. Yeah, no way this was an accident. I checked all the other boxes, they were all full of human body parts. The labels said things like cranium and kidney. I was too scared to confront the employees about this. What if they were in on it? Maybe they had no idea what was in these boxes. But come on, I told myself, they transport these crates all day, they have to know exactly what they say. I decided to close the box and shove it back into the space where it fell from. Once I was miles away from this place, I'd call in an anonymous tip to the police about suspicious activity at this warehouse and never come back here. I jumped down from the trailer and slammed the doors shut, placing the seal on the handles. Everything okay? The voice startled me so much, I nearly jumped out of my skin. I turned around to see the same guy who handed me my papers standing there with a grimace on his face. He knew I knew, and I knew he knew I knew. I tried to play it cool. "Oh, yeah, no, I'm good, a box just fell but I secured it so we're all good to go," I said a little too cheerfully. The man kept intense eye contact with me the whole time. "Well," he continued, "have a safe trip." He tipped his hat at me then walked away. That was weird, I thought to myself. I'm not sure what the guy's deal was, but he definitely knew something was up. I am so calling the cops on this place. How fucked up is that? It must have been some sort of black market operations. After I got the hell out of Dodge, I sent in an anonymous tip to the police, giving them the exact name and address of the place I went to, and telling them I was certain I saw human body parts being sold there. They thanked me, told me they would check it out, and then hung up. When I delivered the load, it was to a small, very dodgy looking mom and pop operation. I dropped the trailer and hightailed it out of there. As for the police, I wasn't sure if I was going to hear back from them about it, but about a week later I decided to call and ask them. I'll never forget what they told me. They told me they searched the premises and found nothing. Absolutely nothing. The place was abandoned. There was no one there, no evidence that any sort of business had ever been operating there. Not a single piece of identifiable evidence could be found, no security tapes, no leftover packaging or paperwork, just an empty warehouse. I was completely speechless. I thanked the officer I spoke to and hung up. I thought about telling them that I had paperwork from my delivery with their information on it, but since I called it in anonymously I didn't want to be connected to any police files. I looked at the paperwork from that trip. I'm required to keep all my bills in order to be paid, and the address for the billing was some location in North Dakota. They were smart enough to use a different billing location. Well, that was a dead end, but I also reported the place I delivered it to. No way those people didn't know what they were buying. I called back several times over the next few weeks, and the officer always told me he couldn't discuss an open case. At least that one was being investigated. I didn't think there was anything else I could do about this. As long as I never had to go back there I didn't really care, it seemed to be mostly taken care of. That one fucked me up for a while. I'd seen some weird shit but this was such a different kind of scary. I think people, myself included, tend to forget how real and deadly the black market and human trafficking can be. I don't pretend to know everything about it, quite the opposite. This experience just made me realize you never know how close you are to this type of thing. Be vigilant, guys, you never know what could happen. Don't go alone, especially at night, trust your instincts. If a situation feels off, get the hell out of there. Don't be afraid to kick and scream and raise hell, do anything to save your life. Try to always carry protection, a pocket knife will do in a pinch. Just be safe, everyone. I'd hate for anyone else to end up as just a box of frozen hands in a trailer. It's my advice, if you ever visit, remember to be careful around the river and the forest, for the spirits there are hungry for fear. Always inquire about the house before move-in. Keep yourself and others safe from any type of scary activity. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe.